because okay, let me
Sorry,
record
Fred,
this.
there's an echo.
Okay, just give me a minute.
All right.
Okay, so yes, okay, the echo is still there. Betka says, never forget a customer and never let a customer forget you. That is a principle that I actually found to be very, very exciting. Never forget a customer and never let a customer forget you. He says this is a motto that was adopted by Chevrolet, a car sales company, and it rose to be one of the biggest and largest customers car sales companies in the world. And Chevrolet remained number one in car sales for more than 15 years, for 13 years out of the last 15 years. And the reason is this: they believe in the adage, never forget a customer and never let a customer forget you. Yeah. Because when a customer forgets you, then it means they will not order again from you. But you also should not forget a customer, because when you forget a customer, when you have a conversation with a customer, they will buy some more from you or they will give you a referral. Yeah. So the message here is that we need to actually ensure that we retain the details of our customers. In our business, we always talk about having a customer list, writing down the name of the customer, what the customer bought, his telephone number, writing down his likely reordering date clearly in a book, so that now you can be able to follow up and make a call to that customer. I find that putting the customers in your phone and having a broadcast is very good. But sometimes we lose our phones, or the phone crashes or something like that. And when your phone crashes and you don't have the details of that customer anywhere else, I find that, or you buy a new phone, when you move across from one phone to another, we always tend to lose the details of the customers. And I know I have suffered in that area. I remember one time I had a phone which had about almost 10,000 people. And that phone was snatched somewhere in Nairobi. And I had saved all those contacts on Google. But now when I went back to download the contacts from Google, I found that many of the contacts had numbers but no names. So I lost a huge chunk of my customer base because they were in my phone, and I had not transferred all of them to my customer book. And now I started building again. And right now I think I'm at 4,000 people on my phone book. That tells you that there are still more than 6,000 people that I lost because of having a phone and not having transferred everybody to my customer list. So it's important, and especially for the new distributors who are starting off, anybody you sell a product to, write down their name, their telephone number, what they bought from you, and the likely date of them buying again, because that person is an asset and you can sell to that person for your entire period that you're in this company. I can tell you, I have people that I've been selling to from 1996 to date, and they're still buying from me because I have kept in touch with them, and I continue to follow them up. Yeah. Now, the next point that was shared is a story about a gentleman who had just bought a very big house. And this gentleman spent quite a bit of money to buy this house. And once he moved into that house, he started having doubts. And he was wondering whether he made the right decision by actually buying that house. And a week after he had moved into that house, the salesman who sold him the house came for a visit. It was a Sunday morning. And in that visit, he actually talked to the new house owner, and he told him so many details about the new house he had bought, the benefit, the hidden features about the house. He took him around the property. He told him about the neighbors who were neighboring him, who were very prominent, some of them, and the history of the neighborhood, the history of the house. And he spent a whole Sunday morning with him explaining about the house. And then he left. Now, the new house owner was very grateful because of that visit by this salesman. And he was so excited about it. He felt close to this guy. They became friends. And because of becoming friends, he introduced this salesman to a friend of his who was also looking to buy a house. And the gentleman took him round and showed him the properties around. And finally, then the friend also bought a house from this salesman. Now, the moral of the story here is this salesman got another sale because he took time to spend time with somebody who had bought a house from him and just share with him about the house, about the property he had bought. And his enthusiasm about the property, even after he had already made the sale, was so touching to the new house owner that he considers this person a friend. Now, the message here is this, that when people buy from you, if they see that you care for them, if they see that you're keeping in touch with them, that you're not just there for the sale and you're gone, then they end up feeling even closer to you. Because you see, I've already bought the product. So really, you don't need to spend your airtime calling me. You would be busy calling other people. But you're calling me and even spending time with me to show me how to use this product. That makes the new customer or then feel very close to you. They feel that you care, that you were not just there for the sale and then you disappeared. In our business, the way that translates is if somebody buys a product, number one, don't just drop the product and run. Install that product, do a demonstration, show the person how the product works. He has already bought it, but take time to show him how it works, explain the features, do a demonstration if necessary. And after you have done that, take a few days and call the person to find out how is the product working out for you. And you can also point out a few other benefits about the product, even to that person who has already bought the product. And that shows the customer that you actually care for them and that you're actually a friend. You're not just a salesperson, but you're somebody that truly cares and somebody that is trustworthy and a worthwhile friend. So that's very, very important. Now, another story that has been shared in the chapter is a story about an old lady who bought an expensive jewelry in a shop where the writer of the book, Betga, was actually a salesman. And this old lady bought the brooch, and it was a very expensive piece of jewelry. And Betga remembered the training that he had had about the Chevrolet story, about taking care of the customer, spending time with the customer, and really emphasizing the benefits of something that the customer has already bought. So after this lady had bought this expensive piece of jewelry, he took time to just tell her the history behind that piece of jewelry, and many, many other good features about it. He took time, he spent time explaining to her about this jewelry. And the lady felt so nice. She was so excited because Like she shared with him, she had even started feeling guilty of having bought such an expensive piece of jewelry just for herself. By the time she left the shop, she was feeling very close to Betga. She looked at him as a friend. And Betga escorted her to the door and he told her, okay, fine. If you're ever in town, she was visiting. If you're ever in town, don't hesitate to call upon us again. We'll be glad to have you. So the lady left. Within an hour, the lady had come back, but she came back with a friend. Apparently, they were visiting with a friend in that area and they were staying in a hotel nearby. And she asked the salesman to show this friend, give them a guided tour of the establishment. And he did. And the friend also bought a piece of jewelry, not as expensive as the first lady, but he was able to make another sale because of the sale he had made to start with. So when you look at this story, it just emphasizes what the message that had been said earlier, that once somebody buys an item, take time to guide them, to show them what the product is, give them the benefits of the product, do some follow-up after the sale, and you'll find that you'll get more sales from the same person, either in terms of referrals or even the same person buying again from you. Okay. Now, the other story is also another story of an old lady who walked into the shop. And the moral of the main idea about this story is that you don't know who you're dealing with when you deal with a client and you take care of a client properly. This is a story of an old lady who one day walked into the shop, and the other clerks, the sales clerks, were not really interested in her because she didn't look like she had money. She looked like just a plain old person, not expensive clothes, just a kawaida person. So the other salespeople were not really interested. But Betga went and took the lady around and took care of her, helped her to buy whatever she wanted to buy, escorted her to the door. It was raining, so he took an umbrella and covered her as she got into her car, and the lady left. Now, a few days later, the store got a letter from Dale Carnegie. And Dale Carnegie was thanking the sales personnel for taking care of her mother. Those who know Dale Carnegie, somebody who was a very, very successful entrepreneur. And because of that, Dale Carnegie gave the store a contract to supply and furnish one of his many establishments. So you can see, because of taking care of somebody who looked like she was not anybody, the store actually got some very good business because of actually taking care of somebody who did not look like a millionaire or anybody that is worth taking care of in a special way. So the lesson here is very simple, that we should not prejudge, that in our business, you might see somebody who looks very plain and doesn't look like he can do business. Don't refuse to explain the business to that person, because you don't know who that person knows and you don't know where that business can lead you to. Yeah. So that's very, very important. Then the chapter continues and the author shares a very important secret about getting new customers. And he says the best source of new customers are new customers. Yeah. The best source of customers are new customers. Now, what does that mean? It means that when you get somebody, a new customer who comes and buys from you, that customer is more likely to give you more new business than anybody else that you could have met out there. And the reason is this: a new customer is usually so excited about the product, he's enjoying the product, he feels good about it, and cannot wait to share with friends and relatives about this new product that he's using, which is doing miracles for him, or which is making him feel better and that kind of thing. So if you sell a product to somebody, a new customer, and you want new business, give it a day or two or a week, depending on what you have sold to them, and then call that customer and find out how he's doing with the product that he bought. And usually you'll get a very positive report. If you don't get a positive report, you might get somebody who has a few misgivings about the products. Maybe they didn't use it the correct way, and you'll be able to guide them so that they can start using it the correct way. Either way, if you find that the customer is very positive about the product, he's happy about it, then you should actually request for some referrals. Yeah. Because you find that that person is excited about the product that you have actually sold to them. He's happy about it. And this is the right time to actually ask for a referral, because they will willingly and gladly refer you to somebody else who needs to use the product. They might even send you their number, or they might connect you with that person and you'll get another sale. Yeah. So it's very, very important. In our case, because we have a wide variety of products, by doing a follow-up, you are able to introduce another range of products to this customer. So one customer and that's the beauty about Neolife. Maybe the person had arthritis and they bought TNN, omega-3 and CalMag for the arthritis. And now they're not feeling any more pain. When you do a follow-up and you share about Super 10 and LDC and the way they do miracles in the kitchen, that customer might buy those two products. Now, when you do a follow-up about those two new products, and you get into a conversation, you may find that the customer might be a farmer. Maybe she has a farm, or she stays in a farming area. You introduce that customer to Supergrow, or you can introduce that customer to Supergrow for the hair. And that customer buys Supergrow. As you're doing a follow-up for that Supergrow, you can mention about wash and wax. Probably the customer has a car and the customer ends up buying wash and wax. When you're doing follow-up for the wash and wax, the customer has a skin. You can talk about the skincare and you get that person buying skincare, because you find that rather than looking for so many customers who are buying once and disappearing, you sell once and you disappear and they disappear. You'll always keep on looking for new customers. But if you can take care of the customers that you have, even as you're looking for new ones, and you make sure that the customers you have, number one, know all the products that we have, and number two, are using them correctly, you will find that they will actually either give you new business, or they can end up being 100% consumers of our products. Yeah. So always remember that the best source of new customers are the new customers that you already have. Okay. And we have looked at the reasons there. A new customer is enthusiastic, happy about their new product purchase. They are proud. They want to tell everybody about it. And this is a good time to actually get them to give you referrals. Now, the last statement that I want to share with you, but I urge everybody on this call, take time to read this chapter. It has a lot of nuggets, and there's a lot of stuff that I may not be able to cover because of time. But the last statement I want to share with you is, if you take care of your customers, they will take care of you. For me, that is music to my ears, because in our business, we're always looking for PV. Every month, you want to do your 100 points. You want to do better this month than the other month. And you don't want to keep on struggling, looking for people to help you do the business for this month. If you only take care of the existing customers that you have, then they will also take care of you, because they will come in and buy product when you really need the PVs, and they will help you achieve your step. So I'm going to stop there and open up the floor to the members of the team. Anybody would like to add something or make a comment?
Thank you, Fred. That was quite exhaustive. Wow, we don't really have time. I want to welcome Elizabeth and Mary. We are quite happy to have you, and also Purity. Now, the thing about going the extra mile for a client, I want to give a story of one of my neighbors who runs a business, and I really consider her customer service exemplary. I mean, she has a cereal shop and sells groceries and sells honey and those kind of things. Before I met her, I used to go to a certain person, and because of my schedule, I had requested that person whether, since I can only come out some particular times, whether she doesn't mind just dropping the product, the cereals, because we are just there. I mean, she's actually less than a minute walk from me, and it really looked like I was bothering her and those kind of things, so I did not insist. So when I met this other lady, I mean, she goes out of her way. She will bring to your gate. She does so many small extra things. It has reached a point that I buy all my cereals from her. I buy all my fruits from her, and they're organic. I buy my honey, I buy my peanut butter. And I thought to myself, if only that lady had gone that small extra mile, she'd be having so much business. So sometimes we may look like, we may feel like a client is bothering us, but always going the extra mile is sowing good seed. Because from me, she's gotten so many other clients, so many other clients. So let's always go that extra mile for a client. You will never lack business if you go that extra mile for a client. They'll always remember you because you end up being their friend rather than just supplying products to them. Also, another story I want to give about never looking down on a client because they don't look sharp or anything. I know a story of someone who the client she was dealing with at that point was a client who was really struggling financially. So in as much as he loved the products, he could not afford to buy the whole pack. So because that distributor believed that every client is important, what they would do, they would sell to that client what they could afford, maybe the supplements for the week. Yeah, maybe buy a certain number of tablets or capsules for the week. And this client would ask many questions. And at some point they were thinking, this client is taking so much of my time. And that this client, I mean, they don't buy much. Yeah, but they thought to themselves, you see, the value of a client is not how much they buy. The value of a client is that they're a human being. They are a human being, and you need to treat them well. So this person went out of their way taking care of this client. Guess what? That distributor actually ended up getting married to that customer. It's an amazing story. So you never know. When that distributor was sharing that story, they were saying you never know how treating somebody well, where it can land you. Fred, I welcome you back.
Okay, since we have about a minute or so left, I think we can stop it there, and we can plan for next week, because the topic of the day actually is a business topic, because we are learning about customers, and customers is one of our basics, taking care of customers. So we actually on a good page. We were supposed to cover the sponsoring process, but I feel that since the chapter we have covered is actually a basic, one of the basics, it can double up as a business topic of the day, and then we push the sponsoring process for book club to next week. And as we wrap up our session, tomorrow we'll be having a leadership meeting with our senior managers, with Pascal Olo. So senior managers tomorrow will be together at 8 o'clock. So put that in your diary. And then I just want to thank you all for coming to this call and remind you the month of September is ongoing. It's an exciting month. It has started on a very high note. I can see Eunice is on the call. She became a manager last month. This month, I want to encourage everybody, let us focus on our goals. The politics are over. Today marks the end of politics. Now it is time for work. So let's really go out and make it happen. Whatever your goals, set them early, work at it. I know you can do it. Just focus on it and make it happen. Now I want us to select